This program is brought to you by generous donations from the community and sponsored by Stifel Financial. Good evening. I am Ty, your host for tonight's edition of Nevada County Now. Albert Einstein once said that in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Peter Drucker said the best way to predict the future is to create it. Nevada County Media is a firm believer in creating opportunity. Take this program, for example. It gives our community an opportunity to come together and to do something relevant and important. It gives us an opportunity to come together to make sure we are all getting important and accurate information. And like Drucker states, we are creating our own future. It takes a village, so come and get involved. Don't go away. We will take a short sponsor break and be right back.
Thank you to Stifel Financial, proudly helping individuals pursue financial goals, businesses and organizations raise and protect capital, and communities offer a higher quality of life. To learn more, visit www.stifel.com.
The Nevada County District Attorney's Office has filed charges against 2 individuals in connection with the incident that led to the lockdown at Nevada Union High School on February 3rd. Following an extensive investigation, an 18-year-old and 17-year-old student have both been taken into custody. Both individuals are charged with violations of Penal Codes 422182, threats, and conspiracy. At this time, all evidence indicates that these 2 individuals were solely responsible for the threats, and there is no indication that any other persons were involved. The investigation remains ongoing, and the District Attorney's Office, alongside with Cyber Crimes Investigator and the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, continue to pursue justice and ensure the safety of our schools and community. For further updates, contact the Nevada County District Attorney's Office. A market analysis on the historic Nevada County Courthouse, which includes the Courthouse, Annex, and auxiliary parking lot, has concluded that housing is the highest and best use for the complex's location. Nelson, an architectural firm hired by the county, presented the findings on January 29th at a community meeting at the Nevada City Council chambers. The courthouse is expected to be vacated in 2031 as a result of the state's decision to construct a replacement building, and to prevent the courthouse from becoming a zombie building, the county hired Nelson to analyze and recommend viable options for reuse. Nelson came up with the findings after examining population trends, employment trends, and real estate market conditions, as well as talking to the people in the neighborhood and people knowledgeable about the uses and hearing from the community. Nelson said the courthouse building could potentially be used at some point for an institution such as a museum or a school of some sort. While the government agency or nonprofit could eventually come forward and take on such a project, none in our area is ready at this time. We will continue to monitor and report on the progress of the story. NID reports that the February snow survey snowpack is at 87% before the current winter storm. The Nevada Irrigation District's watersheds and water shortage levels are weathering this year's hydroclimate whiplash. January was unseasonably dry with only a handful of days that brought any precipitation, but in just a few days in February, the amount of rain received rivals the usual tally for the entire month. To learn more, please visit the NID website at nid-February-snow-survey. The Truckee Chambers was packed last week as residents raised their concerns for a potential new homeless housing addition to Truckee. The Home Key Plus program is a statewide effort to rapidly sustain and expand housing for persons who are at risk or experiencing homelessness, with a focus on veterans and other individuals with mental health and or experiencing substance use disorder challenges. With a grant from state and federal money, the program aims to purchase real estate property housing options within the community. The Board of Supervisors on January 14th approved 2 separate resolutions to submit a Home Key Plus application for the projects. Based on technical assistance from the HCD and a full review of the NOFA, it was determined that the project can be combined as one project under the Scattered Residential Sites project type. The Hope Ridge House would be a new permanent supportive housing asset in Truckee. The home, located in the Armstrong neighborhood, would be operated by AMI Housing Incorporated and Nevada County. The Armstrong neighborhood is strongly against this.
This has nothing to do with pitting us against each other about being in support or not being in support. It's about the communication that there has been lack of and preparing the community for success. We're not for or against it. And I think what we are concerned about is also the use of dollars, that seeing that the funds would be better served in a property that can house more people that are closer than individuals.
Armstrong has a lot of children foot traffic right down the road there. And I just want to make sure that all of you putting through this project would feel comfortable sending your kids walking by a house like this with the information that we've received so far, because there's a lot of discrepancy as far as the exact tenants.
I think we're getting the cart a little bit ahead of the horse. I think we need to start with, do we have mental health and substance abuse solutions for these people? Do we have a warming shelter for the people?
Future residents will be local with ties to the community and will sign leases and pay rent. Staff will be on site offering life skill coaching and linkage to medical health, employment, disability, and other services. Find out more information about the project on the County of Nevada website at nevadacounty.ca.gov/Hope Ridge. The full video of the meeting can be found on the County of Nevada YouTube channel. A link will be provided in the description. Due to continued low overnight temperatures and a chance of rain, Sierra Roots and Nevada County will extend current emergency weather shelter to include Tuesday, February 11th. The shelter will close the morning of Wednesday, February 12th at 7:30 a.m. Individuals experiencing housing insecurity are encouraged to take advantage of this free service. Hot meals are served at 5:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. Pets are welcome. The shelter will open at 4:30 p.m. and will accept guests until 8 o'clock in the evening. This is a collaborative effort to temporarily shelter individuals during extreme weather events. It can also connect unhoused residents to additional services. The emergency weather shelter is located at the Veterans Hall at 415 North Pine Street in Nevada City. Anyone experiencing a housing crisis can gain further assistance for shelter, food, healthcare, and other services by dialing 211 or 1-844-319-4119 to speak with a local 211 Connecting Point call specialist. Don't go away. We will be right back with a couple of very special guests.
One of our goals as an agency is to bring that awareness that in our community there's still needs out there for firewood, especially in the senior population, and that as together as a community, we can meet that need.
Each year gets a little harder and a little harder, but just seeing this, I feel like one of the lucky ones.
To help celebrate Valentine's Day, we thought it would be fun to learn a little bit about a few couples in our community and what makes their relationship tick. Today we are joined by Casey and Marius, who met in Italy in 1992 as buskers. They came from different directions, different nationalities, religions, ages, and social status. Just two people with guitars playing in the busy streets and metro stations of Italy. They have a beautiful story. Casey and Marius, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Please share with us, what was the first meeting? What was the moment of impact?
So I was an illegal alien in Italy. I was, at the time, Romania was not part of the Europe. They got permission to travel when the Berlin Wall fell down. But there I was, playing music and, trying to do good things. And I would tell people that my name was Frank Bradley. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, because I didn't want you to lie for me if the police came and said, it's like, oh, this guy's American.
Very conscientious.
So I spoke English better than the Italian cops, so it worked.
Okay. Wow.
And the people, I guess brought us together because she was from Arizona at the time.
Okay. Did you know that before?
No.
Okay.
No, so I had
Kismet.
it is a bit kismety. I was living in a vehicle with several friends that I'd brought over. I'd been living in Spain, and there we were in Italy. I had several people with me, and one of them, as we were out, it was in Bologna. Everybody has their own way of making money when they're traveling. And so I was the musician in the crew. Somebody else was making hair wraps. Somebody else, everybody had their, and in the journey, somebody met up with him and the person he was traveling with. And we realized we were all trying to get to Florence the next day. And so he was a hitchhiker. And I had something on my roof that said, "There's always room and never a problem."
This is beautiful.
Yes, I got that from my favorite book, the Illuminatus trilogy. So there was room, and there was not a problem. He got on board, and we could tell immediately he wasn't your basic Arizona person. He stopped talking completely.
It was hard to fake it,
Well,
in front of
Bologna
True.
to Florence, that's several hours drive, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, well, one of the 3 vehicles that was in the caravan that I was a part of had broken down.
Oh, no.
And we were in a cemetery for 3 days. On our way between Bologna and Florence, there were 3 days to fix somebody's steering. So there was plenty of time for him to start talking.
That's a spectacular setting. I have to say, a little bit spooky, but...
So we just traded guitar songs.
Yeah.
But Casey, you had more than human companions in your car.
Yes. The actual owner of the vehicle was a 3-month-old puppy at the time, who I had bought the puppy, and he was the owner of the car, so that gave me the right to drive this puppy around. His name was Monty, and he was an Irish wolfhound. So at 3 months, he was a pretty big puppy.
Pretty big guy.
He owned that. He owned that Ford Econoline, Ford Transit. And he was a nice guy with the puppy. He was really sweet.
So something about his mysterious accent and being puppy loving and both being guitar players, and it just kind of melded together. By the time you got to Florence, did you realize that you were in love?
We definitely had something going.
We had something going, but we hadn't talked enough. We hadn't really communicated or had much exchange because we were in the streets. We were like trying to get places and survive, So later, we were able to meet again in Rome because we got separated because I stayed in this community that I found in the woods. They were kind of like the Elfie. They didn't like anything plastic, anything from this century. So if you didn't speak Italian, it was hard to remain there and function in their old school brigand system.
Like the Essenes Shen
It was very much
electricity.
like that, but this was like a community that called themselves the Elfi, like the elf people in the mountains
Oh,
of
wow.
Italy. Yeah, living in the chestnut woods, you know.
They were kind of the leftovers of the punk scene from the 90s of Rome that then learned to tune in and drop out, and that's where they did it. I mean, these were rough people, but they were learning how to live without the 20th century.
So foraging and
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they live in an area of Italy where there's chestnut trees. It was a whole forest of chestnut trees. So they gathered chestnuts and dried them and ground it into flour, which has a big value. And our whole caravan went to go to this village. We heard about it, and they kind of spit most of us out because most of us didn't speak any Italian. We relied on high-tech things, and we didn't settle into an old-fashioned way of life as easy as he did. So we left him there. We went on to Rome, and 2 months later, we met up again.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, part 2, continue.
Part 2. So yeah, Romanian has about 95%, 85% in common with Italian. So it's easy for me to communicate and get around. So you know, we at this village, elf village, we actually plotted to go to the Vatican and make a demonstration against the Pope speaking for Columbus discovering America so many years, you know, right?
So you were ahead of your time.
So we all went to Rome to go to the Vatican and demonstrate. That's what brought me to Rome again, and we met in this place called Forte Prenestina, which is like the biggest squat in Italy.
Wow.
And,
It is a really cool space. It was taken. It was an old museum that people took over as a social place. And there they had a soup kitchen that was open every day with free food or donated food, mostly pasta because we're in Italy. But they also had a media center. They had several magazines they were publishing.
Radio station.
This is before the internet.
Wow.
So they had an auto shop. They had a
theater.
there was a theater. There was a place to do
There's
plaster.
a community center. Everyone
Sculpture.
around, yeah.
It was a real people's place.
But
I've
the
never
best
seen
thing
anything
about
like
it was the moat that went around and the bridge that lifted up. So when the neo-Nazi, the skinheads tried to come in, we'd lift the bridge up and.
It was a safe space.
But
Oh, that is incredible. That in and of itself is a story and a book. But you met in this place.
Yes.
We did re-meet in that place, yeah. And he came in with these mountain people, and they were going to protest the Pope.
We did. We went and held a spiral. About 200 people were in a spiral in the Vatican. And while he was speaking, we did a big om.
They did one of those, like a maze where you're in a circle, and then you turn around in the middle and you go the other way.
That's right. Amazing.
It's huge, the whole...
So help paint the picture for me. How long were you both in this community in
Well, we were traveling together.
It was maybe a couple of weeks we were there.
Okay.
Not very much longer, but that's when we decided to...
Soon after that, some friends of ours...
To go to Greece together.
Yes, yeah. So our friends had enough money to put all 3 vehicles to go to Greece. It was getting cold. It was late fall.
We need to go south.
Christmas. Yeah, it was getting cold. But
Migrating
unfortunately, he had a green passport. The rest of us had red and blue ones.
I
which
don't know
were
what that means.
okay.
That means I was illegal.
He wasn't supposed to be anywhere there.
So I had to hide
We had to hide him in the... One of the other vehicles was a Volkswagen. No, it was a Mercedes-Benz with a Volkswagen on top.
Welded on top. So they had a bedroom up there, and I hid up top there.
And he could hide because in that Mercedes-Benz there was also a goat.
There was a goat and a dog. So when the police dogs came in, they didn't smell me up there. You know, they didn't have to worry about me.
So while
Amazing.
we were celebrating New Year's Eve, 1993.
Yeah.
Yes. On board, with a nice venue and people singing and dancing, he was down below hiding.
Wow.
It was.
Yeah, there was
it
the
a
problem was
stowaway.
that the lorries around, they had their engines on because they're refrigerated, so I had to close all the windows, make sure I don't breathe too deep.
Yeah.
But after, what is it, 2 days and a night, we got to Greece and everything was fine. But it was like
Amazing.
old school. Like I could feel the sea. I couldn't see it. You know. So I had a really good book and a Walkman. And just like
You didn't completely shun electricity after being in the chestnut forest. So now we're in phase 3, part 3.
so now we get
Yep.
to
7 months in
Greece.
Greece.
Oh, wow.
And Greece is not a common language to any one of us.
We were both foreigners in a foreign land.
I had phonetically more control of it, but she
I knew
understood the letters because she
I
went
went
to
to
school.
college and I knew sororities and fraternities.
That's right.
So she could read it and be like, "Oh, that's what that means."
I would sit there
Wow.
So the two of us-
toilet. He's like toilet.
Wow. 7 months in Greece. No immersion language skills, just enough to get by.
Yeah, all immersion skills. No.
Yeah, we
classes.
picked
Yeah,
we
no
picked
classes.
lemon. We went to Kalamata and picked olives, and then we made some money and decided at some point I'm like, I was getting to experience this American automobile attachment. You know, I was like, you know what?
I'm in love with
It's
my
an
car.
addiction.
So let's just walk on foot on this
He dared
island
me.
of Crete as equals. You know, nobody owns automobiles. They just like walk. You know, that
dared me to get out of my car.
That was the test, the ultimate test.
It wasn't ultimate. There was a map that said that Crete has a donkey path around it.
No,
Not true.
My dog needed to be carried over that donkey path.
Ooh.
At that point, he was a big dog.
So we walked for a couple of weeks from one island, from one end of the island to the other, and in the middle of it,
Weeks.
we found this beautiful place with caves and stuff, and
People living in the caves.
we're living in
Okay.
caves on the beaches, and it's like very interesting experience. you know,
Travelers from
like
all over the world. It
primal.
was interesting. Yeah.
But so living in the caves, going like back to that primal state, I guess it was really testing.
Okay.
You know,
Put us on
because
level ground.
when we left, when we got on the island, we said, okay, we're gonna get this bag of flour, right? So we'd make like little chapati at night, and then sometimes it was just oregano tea. Sometimes we caught some fish, but it was very, you know,
Basic.
basic diet.
Our music didn't work because in Greece they have totally different musical tastes.
Okay.
So we had to
So
pick
the
fruit.
busking didn't
we had
work,
to,
yeah.
we had to figure something else out. That was.
Well, I
that
will
was a
say you
trick.
all are brave, motivated by love, and definitely weathered some not an easy beginning. I'm curious how you got from Greece to California.
Yeah, we should speed up the story, darling.
Yeah, well, we got off the
curious.
island after all the testing and all the sampling.
At that point, we were in love,
We were
and we
fully in
knew
love.
we were for each other. We had kind of
And,
trained each other up at that point.
We parked this van right across the Acropolis. There was this other park where you could look at the Acropolis as it was lit, or like up on this other mountain.
At the Acropolis, in the middle
Yeah.
of Athens.
Yeah.
And
So we stayed there for a couple of days, but then on the full moon night, we decided to conceive a child.
he decided.
Well, I decided, and she said, okay.
Yeah, so
So after
That
that,
was a big beginning of your next adventure.
that was, and then we wanted him to be born in America. And so my family really
Okay.
was from Arizona. We had to get married in Romania first.
yeah, I had to go
I've
all the way to
heard the
Romania. I
story.
had hired some gypsy musicians to make a nice wedding, and
They had to interrogate him on the way into Romania because his passport said he left to go to Hungary, and then there he was coming in from Bulgaria. That doesn't match.
yeah. But
I feel like that would not be possible in this time.
This is before computers.
Right.
This is before
yes.
computers, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was able to lie to people that I would tell them when they would ask me my address, I'd be like, my address is 22 Acacia Avenue. in Phoenix, Arizona. That's an Iron Maiden song. So I would say it so confidently that people...
He learned English through heavy metal lyrics.
This is so cool.
And
Have
blues.
you both written your book?
No.
Come on.
So many people say we need to do it.
So then, then we had a wedding, and then we needed money to fly back here, and she had to go back to Italy to sell the van.
Okay.
Then come back, and then we traveled, and our son was born in '94 in Tucson, Arizona.
Congratulations.
We had a daughter 7 years later,
Wow.
and they are now 31 and 23.
Amazing. You both do not look that age. Cool.
Yeah, and we are grandparents. We have a 2-year-old grandson.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a blessing.
Thank you. We ended up in Nevada County because our daughter wanted to go to college, and we wanted to be in state. So we had the entire state of California to choose from. And then we realized we really are more Northern California types. We'd been more time in Northern, and we wanted to have our own property with a well, because coming from Arizona, water is crucial.
We're thirsty.
That's right. Yeah.
And what other well could we afford in Northern California at the time? So we came here, we found a beautiful piece of property, we fell in love with the Yuba River,
Yes.
and so we stayed.
Yes. This is amazing. Okay, hardships, traveling, simple lifestyle, acclimation to the world as it exists and is changing through technology and all the things that have happened. Through all of that, your love has remained intact. So my obvious question is, what do you two, what's the advice for a young couple starting out?
We're very fortunate because we play music in the same band for a long time together.
It's good to have common
We write music.
interests.
We do the same. We have a common practice, I guess. That's important.
That's all we
Music
had in
is one
common.
of your love languages.
That was
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
That's all we could do in common at first.
Amazing.
We're from different religion,
gotta have
different
something in
language,
common,
different,
something you
very,
like to do
very
together.
different culture. Yeah.
But your family was very accepting.
Yes.
Yeah, they were.
And have you met his family?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Beautiful.
We
During
lived
our
in
wedding.
Romania
Wedding.
for a while. Yeah, too.
We've raised
Awesome.
our kids in both countries on purpose, so our kids speak both languages. We wanted them to understand that the United States is not the only perspective.
And just, Romanian is a good base language because, it has a lot of romance. It covers the romance languages pretty well. And
I'm blown away.
Let's see. You gotta forgive.
yes,
Gotta compromise.
forgive, compromise, and
Get rid of your ego.
and give yourself.
Serve your partner.
Yes,
Serve them as if they are God themselves.
that's right. It's
Serving
marriage.
them, he serves me.
Marriage means you choose to worship God in the form of your spouse.
Ooh, that's nice.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, why else get married?
That's right. For love. Do all things for love, in love. You have a beautiful example, friends, of what it means to go through life, overcome hardships, challenges, and create a beautiful family in a beautiful place. Casey and Marius, we're so happy that you came on today. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you, Ty.
Thanks for
You're beautiful
having us.
people.
Hey, so we still have a band.
All right. Tell us, where can we see you?
Our band's name is Planet Jam. We have played all around Nevada County.
Okay.
And we're all over the internet. Just look up Planet Jam.
We don't have any gigs right now because he's been suffering with a broken rib for 2 months now.
Ouch.
Soon we will
Heal
be
up.
booking again.
Heal up.
I was trying to build a nice swing for my grandson, so I fell from the tree.
I'm sorry that happened, but I'm glad you're healing.
Thank you. Thanks for this interview.
So
thanks you
good.
for
Fun to
having
share our
us.
story.
I can't wait to see you all around town. I will definitely keep my eyes open for you. Folks, amazing story. I mean, love. Can't get enough of it, right? Thank you so much for being with us and for watching this edition of Nevada County Now. If you would like to help contribute or write stories, appear on a show, or even become a host, check out our details on our website, nevadacountymedia.org/NCN. This program is local news and information brought to you by locals. Remember to stay safe, take care of each other, and get out there and explore all this amazing community has to offer.